The opinions expressed in the following programs are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers nor Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Welcome to another exciting episode of In Conversation with Alethia. I am your host, Alethia O'Hara-Stephenson. In this show, I sit down with amazing individuals from our community who are doing inspiring things. The show will educate, it will empower, and it will inspire you. In this episode, I am tremendously honored to have an amazing trailblazer, a powerhouse, an individual who's doing amazing things in our community, not only in business, but giving back to her community. She has transformed her business over the past several years. She's beautiful, she's brilliant, and if that's not enough, she was a Miss Dufferin County World. Please welcome Danielle Jenkins, the president and CEO of Domestic Divas Cleaning Company. Welcome to the show, Danielle.
Thank you so much for having me. That was quite the introduction. Thank you.
Of course, right? It's an amazing introduction for an incredible person doing amazing things in our community. And I have to say, over the past several years, I've been watching you grow as an individual and as an organization. And every time I see you, I feel like we need to roll out the red carpet.
Well, if we could do that every day, I mean, that would be quite the start to my day, wouldn't it? Thank you.
But no, you've been doing some amazing things. And so it's truly an honor for me to have you on the show. I'm going to jump right in to our conversation. And I want us to talk a little bit about Danielle and how you got started building this empire, Domestic Divas Cleaning Company.
Wonderful. I'd be happy to answer. So yeah, I mean, the best thing to do is to jump right in. About, I guess, almost 6 years ago now, life changed for me. My plans of going to law school got thrown out the window with some things that were thrown at me that I couldn't really control. And before I knew it, I had to make some quick money. So I started cleaning some really nice homes in the Dufferin County area by myself, just to kind of get ahead and start over again after these life circumstances were thrown at me. And within a short 8 months, I had friends working with me. I had paid off around $80,000 worth of debt. And I kind of had to make a decision whether I was going to continue on that path or whether I was going to stop completely and go back to school. I mean, I was at that point where I had to make that decision because I couldn't take any more clients on. I couldn't hire any more people unless I had the means to do so, whether, that was HR or all of the processes and systems to be able to do so. So I made the decision to stay. I mean, I loved it. I loved what I was doing. I loved who I was working with. I loved our clients. And so I took the time to develop the processes and the systems and kind of really change the narrative of the cleaning industry. I mean, unfortunately, the cleaning industry doesn't have the greatest standard or reputation. And so, you know me, and you know that I have high standards and, quite fond of sophistication and professionalism. So I really did incorporate those into our company and just kind of change the narrative of the cleaning industry, creating the company that we did. And here we are 6 years later, and we have over 40 staff members now in all three divisions of the company. We have over 1,000 clients, both residential and commercial. Not only do we serve Dufferin County, we also serve other communities as well. But Dufferin County will always be the beginning, and I will always have my heart and will never leave from here. So there we are. There's the little quick story of where we started.
I love it, love it. And it sounds like you're no stranger to heavy lifting, right? And you started this business from the ground up, and here you are with over 40 employees. And you've embarked on another segment under your umbrella, which is commercial cleaning.
Yes.
Yeah. So what was that journey like? Just transitioning, not transitioning, but even just stepping into that space. And I know from a woman's perspective, right? I know oftentimes being a young woman, I'm going to say yes, young woman, there's always, there's certain barriers that, women have to go through. But as a young woman, there's even more barriers for people to take you seriously and value your work. What was that journey like? And talk me through that journey and any challenges that you've had to overcome.
Okay, I mean, another great question, because you're right. There are so many things that women and young women have to overcome, especially in the commercial sector. I mean, business alone can be daunting and scary. And dealing with, other businessmen or women, especially at a young age. I mean, I started this at 20 years old. So, I mean, to deal with those things, even now I get, butterflies, or I get nervous dealing with some of the larger contracts that we have to deal with. And I mean, we can get into it later, but even right now we're dealing with some management contracts in BC. So I'm doing Zooms with some large corporations. It's quite scary. So when I first started the commercial side of things, I mean, again, it was just by fluke that we even got into that. We were doing so well on the residential side. Our reputation was so strong. And then we started having clients that we were already serving on the residential side saying, oh, could you come and clean our offices? And could you come and do this? So it was a slow rolling ball. And I mean, I made a lot of mistakes down to pricing and timing and even just scheduling and staffing, because it's a whole different ball game. It's not just coming and cleaning someone's home. You are dealing with the safety and, the sanitization of the location that has multiple, if not hundreds of employees that you're responsible for. So that's daunting to have that on you. So I was doing it myself for a while. And then, even still to this day, training and putting those processes and systems in place for the commercial side of the company can be quite, I'm not sure what the best word is here, but it is challenging. There's so many things that come along with it. So when we did first get into it, like I said, it was those small contracts or those small jobs that we were doing maybe once or twice a week. And we still do those to this day, 5-6 years later. But the big ones we started getting into, like the daily cleaning, the 24/7 cleaning of locations, really did just start as COVID hit. And yes, COVID has been challenging for all of us, but I really can say that the little jobs we were doing pre-COVID put us into a great mindset, great training, and prepared us for when COVID hit and we were able to jump right in and be able to literally take care of these places 24/7 for almost the last 2 years. So, we didn't have to spend time getting necessarily certified or researching the right equipment because we were already kind of using it. And right. So we just basically exemplified and just made it that much larger. And when people were stressing about the COVID outbreaks or protecting their staff, they called us, we went right in and we took care of them. And to this day, we're still doing so. So it's been a great journey on the commercial side of the company.
I love that. I love that. And you touched on a few key things that is so critical for any business leader. Often people will see Danielle and they will see Domestic Diva, the perfect company that it is today, but not understanding the hard work that goes into building that empire, to building the organization, the hard work to be the successful business leader that you are today. And I love the fact that you're able to talk about, yes, you made mistakes, right? And you were able to
so many.
Right? It's so important, right? Because the reality is, as you embark on any journey, you will come across challenges and you will make mistakes, but it's how you're able to grow and recover from it that is so important for continued success. I love that.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's important for any successful business owner, entrepreneur, whether they started out themselves or just any kind of journey, to understand that you will make mistakes. And if you're not making the mistakes, you're going to make a big one and you're going to have to pay the price. Even today, like we all make mistakes on how to do things, and you have to make the best decision for, like you said, your empire. And there's hard decisions we have to make, unfortunately. And every single day you go through these experiences that teach you how to handle the next thing. Like, I'm going to be honest, if we get another COVID or something like it, I mean, we're prepared. We have dealt with every single possible issue, from staffing, government closures, regulations, restrictions, absolutely everything that could possibly be thrown at us, even like product shortages. And we have our own product line. So amazing. Even that, you know, even getting the raw materials to be able to produce those in the lab, again, was a delay and an issue. So all of these things do add up, and you do learn how to deal with them and to become resilient to them and just kind of rise above. And you just have to deal with it as they come and get stronger every time.
I love that, you know, speaks about your ability to, you know, adapt and pivot, which is absolutely incredible for any business leader. You touched on COVID and, you know, the fact that you were able to still maintain business throughout COVID. But not only were you able to continue your operations, you've been a strong supporter of local businesses right here in Dufferin County, promoting local and encouraging the community to support our local businesses. Why was that important for you to do? You have your own organization, but you're still giving back to the community.
You know what? I really am firm in believing that really it takes a village. You know, you hear that from a new mom that has a baby, and they said, you know, it takes a village. It takes mom and grandma and mother-in-law and sisters and aunts and all of those things to help raise a baby. And I'm going to be honest, raising a baby or raising a business is just like raising a baby. You have to feed it, you have to nurture it, you have to take care of it, you have to show up every single day, whether you're sick, whether you're dying. You know, there's so many things that you have to take into consideration that people don't think about. They think, you know, starting a business, you're a weekend, you're going to get a $10,000 check right off the hop. It doesn't work like that. And you really have to take care of it and grow it. And so with the people in the community and the other businesses, I support them, they support me, you know, and I think it's just so important that other businesses, especially during a time like COVID, I mean, on a regular basis, everybody gets support from the community, their clients, their customers, the people that come and say eat at their restaurants and things like that. However, during a time like COVID, there were so many times that I felt lost. You know, are we going to continue? Are we going to wake up tomorrow and the whole country's going to be shut down? And now I have 40 people that need jobs. And so you have to almost take that into consideration. And so if I was feeling lost, I'm sure there were hundreds of other businesses in the community that were also feeling lost or had it much worse than I did and unfortunately lost their business. So if I could do anything to help them, you know, whether that was financially or mentally or just being there. I mean, you know, as business owners in the community, we are really there for each other. You know, we talk often and things like that. And so if I can be a shoulder to cry on when you are having a meltdown because you don't know what the government is going to do next, I will be there. So that's so important to me because I am a business owner and I understand what it's like, because really it is a lonely journey when you're dealing with everything yourself at the top. You know what I mean?
I love that. And you touched on so many great things, and we're going to pick up on some of those nuggets after we come back from the commercial break. Perfect. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back and having an amazing conversation with Danielle Jenkins, President and CEO of Domestic Diva. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back.
Calling all journalism students, Omni Television is once again awarding scholarships to qualified students pursuing a career in third language journalism.
Canada is a multicultural country, and I know that there are a lot of people like me out there. We need the support to do our job in our native language.
Omni is home to a variety of locally produced current affairs programs and daily national newscasts, broadcast in 6 languages. To learn more about Omni scholarships, visit omnitv.ca/scholarships.
Welcome back to In Conversation with Alethia. I'm here with Danielle Jenkins, President and CEO of Domestic Divas Cleaning Company. Welcome back, Danielle.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to getting into our next little spiel of our conversation.
Yes. The next part of the conversation is a little bit interesting because I want to pick on the fact that as a young woman, a young businesswoman, and often you will put your price out there to the market, and then you have people coming back and saying, no, lowball you. How have you been able to navigate and making sure that you're getting the right price for your business and for your organization?
That's a great question, Alethia. We deal with it. And so do other businesses. And I think it's really important to have these conversations and to discuss a topic like this, because unless you're a business owner, it's really difficult to understand why we have the prices we do, how we demand them, and why we demand them. And on top of that, we all have to make a living. So I think it's really important to have these conversations so people do understand, because unless you run a business, you don't understand. And it's easy to think that anybody can just throw a price out there. So for starters, our pricing, I don't take a huge profit. We're a regular business. I take my profit like any other business, between 15 and 20%. On top of that, out of that 100%, we're covering insurance, we're covering WSIB, we're covering our training, we're covering our management, we're covering our G&A, we're covering supplies, we're covering product, we're covering payroll, we're covering salaries, we're covering so many different things. And so when people ask for a discount, for example, you know me again, and maybe other people don't know me. I wish we could do everybody's services for free, because I love the feeling that our clients get. I love being able to provide the jobs. I love that our employees love our company and are so proud to work for our company. I wish I just had, endless amounts of money sitting in the bank account to be able to pay people to do the job and not to charge people. But unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. So when it comes to our pricing, you've seen our company grow. You've seen the quality and the reputation of our company. So we need to be able to have a price that reflects that. And some of the great things about our company is we have, Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 admin, somebody who's always there to answer the phone or the email, whether that's a new client or an existing client. We always have somebody to help you. So that's a bonus of our company. We're on top of that, we're insured for $10 million. So if anything with any of our locations or anything like that happen, we're covered. So that's another great bonus. We have great products, another great bonus. And the list goes on with these things. And so one thing that I love about our company is we can also guarantee our satisfaction our satisfaction guarantee because we have full-time management to be able to train, to be able to inspect, to be able to ensure that quality is done across the board. So not only are there managers, they're almost quality control at the same time. Yeah. So with that comes expense. So yes, we may be higher than the average cleaning company or cleaning business in Dufferin County. However, we have somebody or a few people to be able to ensure that the clients are getting the service that they're paying for. So, they're not being left hanging before a family member comes over. They're guaranteed that their home is clean. They're not worrying about a COVID infection at their commercial location, things like that. So those are the things that we can offer that justify our pricing. Mm-hmm. And to be able to send that to a client when they're asking for a quote, yes, then we do get clients that come back and say, oh, that's out of my budget. And I'm going to be honest, even to this day, like after, thousands of clients, it still breaks my heart every time. And I wish I could say, you know what, pay me whatever you can afford.
Right.
But I can't run a business that way. And so unfortunately, we do then just have to explain to the client, I understand where you're coming from. I know we're maybe not, the most affordable, but I can guarantee X, Y, Z.
Okay.
And majority of the time, clients are okay. They go, you know what? Our previous cleaners were like this. And so we're willing to trust that you're going to do this.
I love that. You know what?
Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, I really like how you've been able to, position and justify, how the value of the organization and the work that you're doing and providing benefit to the community. So I absolutely love that. I would love to stay on this topic much longer, but I know we're short for time and this could take a full hour. But I want to pivot into, some of your community work. And I know you started Operation Sparkle a number of years ago. Can you tell us a little bit more about that initiative and why it was important for you to start Operation Sparkle?
Sure. Yeah. And I appreciate you for touching on that, because on top of our great work, we do give back to the community a lot. And I think it's very important. So with Operation Sparkle, for those of you that don't know, it is our annual toy drive that we do at Christmas time. And so when I was younger, we didn't grow up in a very privileged family. We didn't have a whole lot of money. And my mom always worked her butt off and made sure that we had our Christmas presents. And I saw the stress that it put on her while I was young. And so then when I grew up and then these life circumstances were thrown at me, there were situations where I had to touch in on the toy drive based on the circumstances. And, we can also get into that at another time. But I had to utilize that. And so I got a helping hand. And so the second that I could give back, I always did. And so shortly after that, I did it myself. Even before the company was started, I always gave back at Christmas time on the toy drive. I always did what I could, whether it was 1 toy or 3 toys or 10 toys, whatever I could do, I always did. And so when I was then able to be involved with, at the beginning, hundreds of people and now thousands of people, whether they're clients or our colleagues or our staff force or anybody involved within the company, I wanted to utilize the fact that we had so many people in front of us and so many people want to be a part of something so great. Mm-hmm. So when that was able to happen, I said, you know what, worst comes to worst, they're going to say no. So I was able to then bring it forward to our company, to all of our clients. And we were then able to get them involved in donating toys, in, basically we took advantage of the mass of people and we're able to collect hundreds of toys for people in Dufferin County. And, I just feel so good about it that not only do I feel great about it, our staff feel great about it, they're proud of the company. Our clients love being a part of it because they know they're a part of something so big. So I think this is our 5th year. And last year we did just under $5,000 worth of toys. So that's huge. That's a huge accomplishment. I'm so proud of our company for that. So that's Operation Sparkle. And I just anticipate it getting bigger and bigger every year.
Absolutely. And, keeping in line with the whole community theme, the other thing that I know you're passionate about is young entrepreneurs. And I know I had the pleasure several years ago of having you speak to some of our students at the local high school. But when it comes to our young people and those young entrepreneurs starting off on their journey, what message would you give to them and why is it important to be able to not only be an entrepreneur, but to be able to give back to their community? Why would that piece be important?
Oh, good question. There's so many things that I love sharing with people. As you know, I do a lot of mentorship with our young entrepreneur community in Dufferin County and outside of the community. And I always share little bits of wisdom, little things that I always think about. But whether you're an entrepreneur or not, being a part of the community, it's just so important. I mean, it fills my cup. I'm sure it obviously fills yours as well. You're a big part of the community and it fills everybody. I mean, it's a little piece of happiness that you can do to be able to give back. But the biggest thing for me, and maybe this is a little bit of advice, but maybe it's not, but one thing I always just like to share is I am so blessed and so grateful for the life that I live. I mean, I live such a great life, and I'm so thankful and grateful for it. And so I really don't need everything that I have. And if I can give that back and be able to give it to the people that do, then, why not? Because I don't need everything that I have. I've been gratefully blessed with all of these things and this abundance. And so I would just love to share it, because I know there's so many people out there that just don't have it. So I just want people to know that, if you do have a little bit of extra something, whether it's money, whether it's food, a toy, or even just your physical, go and volunteer, go and help. Anything really does help, because I'm telling you, you really don't need it all as long as you count your blessings every day. So whether you're an entrepreneur or not, I think that's very important. And then as a young entrepreneur, for any young entrepreneurs that are probably listening, one thing that I always tell the people that I mentor is always know what you're going after and don't let anything sway you otherwise. And to get into that a little deeper, everything that you do, I mean, everybody has a vision for their life. Everybody knows what their life wants to look like and what you want out of life. And so if every single day, especially young people, it's easy to be distracted when you're young. We all have went through that. And, I want people to know, whether you're a young entrepreneur or any kind of entrepreneur, it takes focus and dedication, and you cannot be distracted. So choose what you want your life to look like, envision it and have that in your head all of the time. And then every decision that you have to make, or every move or anything that comes to you, make sure that aligns with that vision and just keep going after that.
I love that. And what I'm hearing too is that you don't need to wait until you're successful to give back. You can give back to the community right now, volunteering and just doing the amazing things that you're doing at every stage in your journey. So that's quite powerful.
Thank you.
I'm going to touch on something a little bit different. I'm hearing a certain theme, and I'm hearing Operation Sparkle. And you make people's homes sparkle, people's businesses sparkle. So I can't help but think that, making individuals' lives sparkle is just part of your DNA, right?
I love that. I'm going to start using that. You know what? And it's so true. I mean, it's true when they say you need to love what you do. And cleaning homes, I love it. I love running the company. I love doing it. I mean, even to this day, if one of our staff members need extra hands and I'm not in a gazillion meetings, I will go and step in there. I will quickly change and I will go in there, because I love doing it and I love what I'm doing. But on top of that, I mean, I've learned so many things running the company, growing the company, being a part of the community that we're a part of. And so it's all a sparkly feeling. I feel very sparkly all of the time. And that's the best way to explain it, with whether I'm doing my job or whether I'm mentoring or whether I'm helping in the community or whatever it may be. And so I love that you picked up on that, because I mean, my life is so sparkly. I feel very sparkly every day. So I that's a perfect theory of Danielle's life.
I absolutely love that. And that's the perfect way to end this segment of In Conversation with Alethia. Let your light go out and shine and sparkle.
Yes,
sparkle. I love it. So thank you so much, Danielle, for joining me on In Conversation with Alethia. It has been a pleasure having you.
And thank you for having me too. I mean, if I can share that message of, living your life, having that vision and being sparkly, then I'm happy to share.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And tune in next time for another episode of In Conversation with Alethia. Take care for now.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
As the fighting continues in Ukraine, thousands of people are fleeing for their lives, forced to leave everything behind. You can help them. Your donation to the Humanitarian Coalition will provide food, water, shelter,